San Diego home prices drop, slipping in U.S. housing rankings. My name is Chris Astelera with Exchange Resources. Welcome to LEARNin Local Live. All right, everybody, welcome to the show. Another beautiful day here in San Diego. How's everybody doing today?
Awesome.
Happy Friday.
Awesome. TGIF.
Happy Friday.
We made it.
We made it.
Ending strong, ending the week strong.
Productive week, making deals happen, closing deals, working with sellers, buyers, just helping the community in this real estate market, right? So
Absolutely, Chris.
Working hard, ready to play hard this weekend, but we've got a great show for you today. We've got an amazing article talking about what's going on with sellers and buyers in San Diego. We've got some off-market deals that we're going to be talking about today. And then we've also got some networking opportunities. So that's what we have today. So what is LEARNin Local Live? LEARNin Local Live is a live platform. So please comment below. We want you to be a part of the community, ask questions. That way it's engaging. The more people that give us questions and collaborate with us, the better the discussions. So we also present realtors, subject matter experts in the community. We present local deals, off-market deals, and who doesn't want a deal in real estate, especially with the high prices in real estate in San Diego right now. And we've got networking opportunities where many of you can go and meet these professionals if you're building an ADU, if this is your first time buying a house, if you want to know what's going on with the programs on loans so that you can get the best deal, the best interest rate, the best loan for you when you're buying a home. These are phenomenal networking opportunities for everyone to be involved in. So more importantly, we're here at LEARNin Local Live to educate, empower, and inspire you to make the right decisions in real estate, to avoid the pitfalls, to avoid the costly mistakes that many investors have made in the past. And so that's why we're here for you. This show is not only for realtors or investors, it's for everyone who's definitely interested and curious about what's going on in the real estate market in San Diego right now. And we're here to give you the news. So don't believe everything you read or hear. Don't believe all the fake news that's out there. We're going to give it to you here and live. You may be wondering how we do this. How do we put all of this together? Well, we connect, we collaborate, and we create content with local area experts, subject matter experts, professional realtors who work with buyers and sellers and contractors and appraisers and investors. And we want to be able to get that information from them right here, right now. Real people, real deals in real time, right? So Carver, Harry, Tracy, you've been on the show a few times already. First of all, Carver, what's been your experience so far? How are you doing?
It has. It's been eye-opening. I've enjoyed it a lot. One of the markets I have enjoyed being able to get to know is the real estate, right? I usually always meet a homeowner after they've purchased the house. And now being able to meet and get to know and network with real estate agents has been amazing because you kind of get to know the owner much earlier in the process and help them prepare. So I've loved it.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Harry, what's been your experience with LEARNin Local Live?
Just being out there and being on video, as we know, that is the wave of the future. And just getting the word out just from the local San Diego market, because sometimes our market is a lot different with affordability and being able to get people in homes, because homes are very expensive, here in this marketplace.
Yep. And Tracy, what do you think so far? I mean, you've been a great host, just co-hosting and presenting these events. You're the super connector. What's been going on with you and what's been your experience?
Oh, thank you, Chris, the host with the most, and everybody here on the show. I'm super grateful. It has been a ton of fun. I'm all about connecting and putting deals together and really working with leaders and influencers in the industry that truly have a pulse on what is happening, because that's where you get the real deal. It's not fake or made up. We're in the trenches, and I'm out talking to real estate agents every day, and I love capping off the week here. It has been a blessing, and I love inviting, this is opportunity for people to be on the show. So take advantage of it.
Perfect. Well,
Absolutely.
great. Thank you guys all so much for being a part of this show. And we've got a great show again. So let's kick it off with meeting our local influencers. And the reason why we bring our local influencers to this show is because they're here, they're live, they're not pre-recorded. You can connect with them during the show, ask them questions, be a part of this community because we want to hear from you, okay? My name is Chris Astolero with Exchange Resources. If you're an investor that's thinking of selling your investment property and you have a huge tax consequence, it could be anywhere from 30 to 40% in taxes that you're going to pay if you don't do a 1031 tax deferred exchange. So we encourage you to please talk to your CPA before doing that. But we're here to answer your questions and definitely give you your options so that you know what to do and the best options that you can take. I'm so grateful to be on this show with LEARNin Local Live. They spotlight me as the local influencer of 1031 tax deferred exchanges. I am the expert in this field, and they can also make you an expert in your field as well, whether it be real estate, being an appraiser, being a contractor. We're here to spotlight you and see the best version of you and your company. I don't have time to create content for myself. I'm super busy, but LEARNin Local Live does it for me, and they can do it for you too. So please make sure to reach out to us, email us, call us, text us, whatever you need to do to reach out to us. Our producers will reach out to you so that you can be a part of this amazing show. Now, let me give you an example of what they can do for you. Client has lived in the property for at least 2 years, right? And if they sell it, they have the 121 tax exclusion, right? It's either $250,000 or $500,000. But listen to this. If they turn it into a rental property, they've lived in it for 2 years, they turn it into a rental for 2 years, and before year 5, they turn around and sell it, guess what? They have the benefit of both the 121 tax exclusion, the $500,000, and let's say it's a $1.5 million property that they're selling. The first $500,000 of that $1.5 million is tax-free, and the other $1 million, they can roll it into other properties, no tax. All right, and our viewers definitely want to get to know each and every one of you subject matter experts. So please introduce yourself and your company. Let's start off with Tracy Hassey.
Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Super excited to be here with all these amazing influencers, amazing people. So once again, Tracy Hassey, super connector with Ticor Escrow Services. And really, escrow is mission critical at any level. And so I have a question for you. How are you safeguarding your real estate deals? Let's talk, let's connect. I'm here for you as an escrow resource. Work with the leader in the industry, Ticor Escrow Services. We have the financial strength backing you as a Fortune 300 company. So cheers to your success, and let's have an awesome rockin' day.
All right. And Carver, please introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, my name's Carver Tripp. I'm the construction guy, right? So at Tripp Construction Management, I work with owners as they're trying to look into buying an investment property. I'm super humbled to be on the show because I'm kind of one of a kind here. There aren't a lot of other industry professionals that do what I do that are trying to get way ahead of a project. And the way that I really try to add value to you on your next investment property is by being transparent, trying to look at value engineering and being as cost efficient when you want to either, let's say, buy a home and move in and live there yourself. There's always going to be some upgrades or modifications you want to do to make it your own. Or if you're an investor that wants to buy, fix, and flip, is the market today actually going to cover or the expenses that you are planning, is that budget going to cover what you actually need to make a margin on that return? So I feel blessed to be here and add value to you before you buy your property and give you that assessment. I do those assessments for free, so no charge to you. I would only incur a fee once we actually roll into the construction itself.
Thank you, Carver. I appreciate that. All right, Harry, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Harry Dennis, and I'm with Elite Home Loans backed by C2 Financial. And I work for myself, but I have a team behind me. So I want to be a local resource for you. I have 50 banks I can go to. So I try to work a plan with you based on especially affordability here in San Diego. It's so expensive. So sometimes, we can afford it, but I want to structure the plan to be able to help you and be a resource to get you into a home or an investment property through all the right channels. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Harry. Martin, you're next.
Hey everyone, again, thanks for having me back. And like always, if you're looking for any off-market deals in San Diego or North County, feel free to reach out. My name is Martin Magana with RMS Real Estate. I'm a wholesaler out here in San Diego, and kind of the reason for being on the show and the reason I do what I do is I'm just trying to change the public's view of wholesaling, how not everyone's unethical, not everyone's shady. We bring you real deals. I'm a licensed agent. Everyone in my brokerage is licensed, and we just do everything differently. Our level of transparency and professionalism is kind of what separates us from everybody else, and we're trying to make sure everybody ends up with a win by keeping deals lean and making sure we don't push ARV and making sure the investor is comfortable with everything we do.
Thank you, Martin. Eris, Mr. Carlsbad.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, this is Eris, Mr. Carlsbad with EXP Luxury Realty. And we've been in business for 15 years. My brother and I, John, run a real estate team here out of the village. And whether you're buying, selling, investing, planning an estate, for us, it's not about closing transactions. It's about building legacies, enhancing lifestyles, and being a resource here for the community in Carlsbad.
Thank you, Eris. And Mr. Carlsbad, John.
Hey, everybody. Happy to be here. Happy Friday. My name is John Anagnos with EXP Realty, aka Mr. Carlsbad. We're your one-stop shop for your real estate needs. Whether you're selling or buying, we're here to help you every step of the way and be as transparent and as helpful as possible. And we're happy to be here in the Carlsbad Village.
All right, Corey Aguinaldo.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm with Whitecroft SoCal Living. I'm really honored to be here with you. And I've been in the real estate industry for over 20 years. I grew up in San Diego. And prior to being a realtor, I have over 10 years of escrow experience. I used to do loans. So I would love to be your resource, whether you're buying, selling, or investing. Please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Corey. And Noemi.
Hi, it's an honor to be here with you guys today. I'm with Compass. I'm a realtor, and I specialize in multi-units and short-term rentals. I actually show my clients how to set up an Airbnb to offset their mortgage or live for free in San Diego. And apart from that, for all the first-time home buyers, I also am able to teach you how to buy a home without paying a down payment or a closing cost, since I did that myself, and I've showed a lot of my clients how to do that as well. Honored to be here.
Thank you all so much for being here. I know that you're busy every single day. We're so grateful to have you on our show. Without all of you, all of our subject matter experts, we wouldn't be here. So thank you again so much for taking the time out of your day to be with us today. So now I'm excited to kick off the next segment of our show, our LEARNin Local Insights.
Hi, my name is Harry Dennis, and we're going to be talking about the bidding wars in the rearview mirror by San Diego Housing Market, which is an article that just came out. So basically, it's talking about an opportunity as there's more inventory coming onto the market, and obviously going into the holiday time. Right now, there's opportunity for buyers, especially with the rates being the lowest they've been in the last 12 months or a little bit more as well. There's opportunity to be able to buy some homes.
Fantastic. So let's thank our sponsor before we get it started with Farmers Insurance.
My name is Patrick Ono I'm a farmer's insurance agent. I've got many years of insurance and financial services background. And what I can bring to the table is knowledge. The insurance industry has been just as volatile. Things that you thought were normal just a few years ago are no longer normal. Having someone that's on your side with the knowledge and background and able to help, that's what I'm here for. We're here to educate and empower. Hopefully I can bring some of that to you and some of that to the group.
All right, Harry, thank you for bringing out that article. It looks like there's a lot of things that are going on with the San Diego real estate market. You know, what's your take on that article?
You know, I again, as I've kind of reiterated, is I think there's an opportunity right now, especially for buyers. We're going into the holiday, which is traditionally a slower time, and the rates are at the lowest. So the affordability factor comes more into play, be able to get people off the fence, especially with the Fed just lowering the interest rate too as well. And unfortunately, the bad news with the government shutdown is actually good news for the mortgage business, because if the economy slows down, there will be more of a whisper that the Fed could lower rates moving into next year, January 2026 and more. So again, it's another opportunity for us to have the buyers maybe up the fence to buy, again, especially if the homes are priced right too from the seller side.
Fantastic. Noemi, what have you been seeing out there?
Yes, actually, we've had the opportunity to be able to get some great deals for our clients, especially because of the cooling effect that we're seeing right now with the interest rates, with the government shutdown. I think a lot of people are kind of figuring out what they want to do, but right now is the opportunity to jump into the market. We've been able to get some major closing cost credits, major concessions for our buyers. And so if you're a seller, you want to be very aware to work with an agent that can guide you through the pricing, making sure your price strategy is right out the gate so that you get the best offer.
Great. And Corey, with regard to sellers, I mean, where are they at right now? Because the question is, do you want to price your house to keep, or do you want to price your house to sell? And because a lot of multiple offer situations aren't there anymore, they got, like what Noemi says, you have to be a lot more realistic on your price. So what do you think about that?
Yes, I mean, absolutely. There's definitely a lot more competition, and pricing is key. But I just make my sellers understand that despite that, San Diego prices are not trending as high as they used to be, there are still over 18,000 homes that sold this year. And currently, every day, there's still 67 homes that sell. So despite what's going on, if you're priced right and working with a good agent, you will get your home sold and, work and make the most money.
Yep. Mr. Carlsbad, Eris, what do you and Mr. Carlsbad, John, seeing out there as far as, offers and, working with buyers? What do they need to do to prepare for this or this market?
Yes, I definitely think, buyers, as Harry mentioned and Nomi mentioned, they have an opportunity right now, and they can get concessions. They can get, a better deal on the mortgage right now. However, I do think this article is really kind of generalizing the San Diego market. Carlsbad, I think if you look more locally and go niche by niche in each neighborhood. So here in Carlsbad, yes, days on market are up, and there have been fewer home sales just in the last month. But we still had 85 home sales, and actually the prices here in Carlsbad went up $196,000. So I think you have to look at each particular neighborhood differently, and that's going to affect when you're having a conversation with the buyer. Hey, we need to come in stronger with your offer if it's here in Carlsbad, because those prices are showing they're still not going anywhere. And vice versa with sellers. If you're in a appreciating market, it's a different conversation versus if it's a house in a neighborhood that's moving slower and there's fewer sales. So I think, yeah, you just have to kind of take it on a case by case basis.
Yep, that's a great point, Eris. As far as all these, a lot of the zip codes within San Diego are so different, you know.
Yes.
But John, as far as sellers, I mean, sellers want their price. A lot of them are not budging. So, I mean, I went to a caravan yesterday, and one of the realtors was saying, "Hey, if you have an open house and you want to see 0 people, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, keep it at the price, at the highest price, or reduce it by $100,000." And at least get 15 to 20 people in your open house. What do you think about that comment?
Yes, I 100% agree with it. I would say set the expectations and really talk to your seller clients about setting a competitive price for today's market, because we are in a buyer's market right now.
Yeah.
There's a bit longer to sell than they have been in recent years. And that's been true for the past year and a half or so, I want to say. But yeah, I mean, you know, with interest rates being cut, the expected Fed rate cuts, and you know, buyers are able to get the concessions they haven't been able to get to, and so sellers, you know, you need to talk to your clients about, you know, the bidding wars of the recent years are not here anymore. So you need to be realistic about what you're going to get for your clients, and they need to understand that.
Yep. Great. That's a great point, Mr. Carlsbad, because you have to determine if they really need to sell it, or if they're just throwing it out there in the market to determine, oh, you know, this is the price I can actually get, but they're not really willing to negotiate down. Well, as far as affordability and as far as the average price of homes in San Diego right now, Harry, it's about $1 million. So that's a pretty large mortgage that people have to consider. So what is the monthly payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance average on a $1 million house with 20% down at 6%? What is that?
Yeah, so if you looked at that, $1 million sales price at $200,000 down, you're looking at $800,000 mortgage. And if it's around 6%, the government loans, FHA and VA, are in the mid 5s. The conventionals are like in the low 6s. So you're looking probably about $4,800 in principal and interest. Taxes in San Diego County is 1.1 to 1.2%. So that could be, you know, another $800, $900. And then homeowners insurance, as we all know, especially after the fires, very hard to predict. It's kind of as Ari said, depends really on the neighborhood too. So it could be 150 to 500 to 600. So, you know, overall you're probably looking 6,000 to 6,500. But again, there's programs that we have like a 2-to-1 buy down, where if the rates are like 6.25, the first year could be 4.25, you know, 4.25, and then the second year could be 5.25. So it's all about the cash flow. And I always talk to a client about, can you afford the payment and how much can you put down? And then I structure the loan from there. If I have those key ingredients, I can make it work just to see if we're in the ballpark for $1 million. As we know, that's the average single family home here in San Diego. As we know, it's very expensive here.
So Noemi and Corey, I want to know, what are the buyers' fears? Because there's a lot of people who are fearful out there of actually moving forward and purchasing a house. What do both of you do? And any one of you can interject whenever you want, but what do you do to alleviate those fears so that they can actually make that move or write up that offer?
Well, one of the main things that I'm seeing is that people don't have the down payment or the closing costs. And so it goes back to our affordability situation that we have here in San Diego. And the way that I've been able to guide my clients is that in the last 3 years, I've been able to get over $400,000 in down payment assistance programs so that they can just not have that worry about the down payment. And I show them how to apply for these programs. And I just gave the keys a couple of months ago to a client who got up to $150,000. The only cost that they had was $500 for the home inspection fee.
Wow, that's amazing. Corey, your take on that?
Yes, affordability is definitely the challenge here in San Diego. And so what I do for my buyers is negotiate 2-1 buy downs, 3-1 buy downs that will definitely help them lower their rates, in addition to asking for closing costs and credits towards repairs. And that will definitely make an impact on their monthly mortgage payment.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all for your insights on this. This was a great article, and a lot of our viewers now have an idea of what they need to do, especially the sellers have to be realistic on their price. A lot of these buyers need to determine whether or not it's going to pencil out for them as far as that mortgage, because the last thing that you want is buyer's remorse, right? And I've had a few of those when I was working with Remax 25 years ago. So we want to be able to prepare all the viewers for that and what's going on with the market. So with that in mind, I'm super excited to move on to the next amazing part of our show. We want to talk about deals, right? Off-market deals, and who doesn't want great deals on real estate? Let's move on and kick off the next segment of our show, our LEARNin Local Deals.
Personally, this is my absolute most exciting part of the show because we get to look at a real off-market deal and see something ahead of the trend. So this is where we actually look at a property and have everybody kind of give their insight and their opinion on what they think of it, the do's, the don'ts, the pros, the cons. So I want to thank our sponsor for this segment, which is someone I got to meet in person, Ruben at Ruben at Revolution Realty Capital.
Are you an investor and you just flipped a property and now you can't sell it? Well, I have a loan for you. I have a lot of investors really who had an exit strategy of flipping a home and selling it. Now they have to rechart their course, if they can, refinance into a DSCR loan, debt service coverage ratio loan. If you don't know what that is or would like some help getting out of a rut, I've been there fixing and flipping properties, and this market shifts and all of a sudden you can't sell it, so you got to do something. My name is Ruben at Revolution Realty Capital. Would love to help you out.
Nice. Thank you, Ruben. So yes, I think, Martin, you have a deal for us here. I got a chance to look at it kind of briefly, and I loved it. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, of course. So let me pull up the slides. There we go. So the deal today is going to be up in Claremont at 92111 zip code. It is a 3-2 with a 2-car garage sitting on a 1,168 square foot lot. This property was built in 1959, no pool. And the main kind of selling points for this one is it's situated on a corner lot. And some of the downsides on it are just the amount of work it's going to need. So some of the big ticket items, the roof, the windows, I personally think need to be redone at the very least. And then the road that it's situated on, the first road is kind of a main road almost, just because of how busy and noisy it is. That's really the only things pushing the ARV down. Go ahead, slide. And then the other thing would be, one thing I would do, and we can talk about this later, is this front paneling on the garage just needs to go, has to be redone. It's just atrocious. Okay, but overall, it's a pretty clean cosmetic flip. The inside, there's nothing, no water damage, no fire damage, nothing major sticking out to anything, just super outdated flooring, kitchen, bath, all of it needs to be redone. But overall, it's been kept in really good condition by the sellers. Like I said, nothing pressing besides the roof just being at its kind of lifespan, and then obviously the windows being single pane needing to be updated. And this is a fairly large lot. The biggest play I would say you could do here is, if you can get it permitted properly and you have the room to do it, is either removing or converting the sunroom, which is permitted, by the way, into another bedroom, or even removing it entirely and maybe doing something with an ADU. But that would be a different set of comps and different set of a play that we analyzed on. So as a fix and flip, we see this as a 1-1 ARV, and you're seeing about between like 50 and 80 grand on rehab, depending on the level of finish you want to get to. And obviously, if you want to convert that sunroom or add an ADU, then you're looking at way higher rehab, but you're also looking at different comps. So I'd like to actually open it up to you guys, especially you, Carver, to kind of see what you've seen, what you think about the deal, and some of the things you see as like from a construction viewpoint.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of the folks that we deal with, right, you have kind of like those 3 types of buyers. You have the person that wants to buy it and live in it themselves. You have the person that buys it, wants to fix it, flip it kind of as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And then you have the person that wants to buy it and maybe turn it into a rental property. So when I look at a property like this, and I have seen a lot of them, especially like Claremont and Kearney Mesa, it's such a hot market for, those types of, like, because it is a more affordable place to try to get into in San Diego. This is a safe property when I'm looking at it. right? I mean, I have done plenty of destructive testing on homes like these, where, you know, a guy wants to buy it, do a fix and flip. So outside of an asbestos test, I don't see anything majorly structurally wrong with it. Yes, it might need some windows, it might need a new roof, but it's not like the floors are coming up. You know, it's not in the worst part of town. I personally look at it from a construction standpoint as pretty low risk. So I don't know, like Martin, when you're looking at a house like this, what is the buyer that you think is like kind of more of that perfect fit out of those three?
The perfect fit for 90% of our deals is really the investor going in, private money, planning to do a quick rehab, ideally with their own construction team. If not, they outsource the work to someone. But then they're in and out 3 to 6 months, kind of like a 2-3 month rehab, and then a 1 to 3 month listing period. That's kind of the optimal group. Now then, if for any ADU deals though, like this one that you could incorporate or change the sunroom and add an ADU, that's more of the buy and hold investor, where they're going to go in, different structure loan, because you're obviously going to hold it for yourself and hold it for way longer than your 6 months period, but for years. So
sure,
those are really the two I would say. But actually, I want to pass over to Corey and kind of get her insight on this, especially because this is kind of her area of expertise.
Yes, I actually live in Claremont, and I've been living in Claremont for the past 5 years, and I definitely love the location. It's centrally located, especially, you know, it's very close to the schools, to easy access to the freeway. It's a great, it's a neighborhood that's been around. Like for older homes, you don't have any HOAs. There's like no Melrose, so it's a perfect community for, you know, for anybody if they want to. For first-time home buyers or for families that just want to move into the neighborhood. It's a really, really great community for families.
Perfect. And then Naomi, any thoughts, insights, anything you see that sticks out?
Yeah, absolutely. As a short-term rental strategist, you know, with Airbnbs, I show my clients how to set those up. So, you know, I would probably do an analysis if someone doesn't want to live in it and want to do either a midterm rental in Claremont because it's centrally located. It could kind of lend itself for that. Also, just to offset the mortgage, if they can do the junior ADU, that would be great because then that offsets, you know, whatever payment that sometimes first-time home buyers get. And so that passive income. So we show our clients, I'm able to show my clients how to do that as well as landlords and to set that up. So I think it's a great find. The location is fantastic, and I can see a lot of value add on this property. Thanks, Martin.
Perfect. And what about you, Mr. and Mr. Carlsbad? What are your insights on these?
Well, I'll take it. Carver, my question for you is with the corner lot. The first thing that comes to my mind is there, you know, some kind of, you know, from a development construction perspective, bonus that you get from having that? I know it depends on the municipality, but I find that a lot of my investor clients love those corner lots because they can do more stuff, you know, with it.
Yeah, I mean, usually the only thing from a construction or like permitting standpoint, because that's really what you're bound by as a construction person, or when you're wanting to do a construction project, is what am I allowed to do? What's the city going to permit me to do? But yes, having a corner lot just gives you a lot more space. You are still bound to the setbacks, but you only have setbacks on two sides, right? So normally if you're in a middle lot, you have a setback on all three sides, the back and both sides. This on a end lot like this, you only have two setbacks that you have to worry about. So you do have extra space if you wanted to move a fence over. Again, you just have to kind of see with the city and their regulations on, you know, how far away from the sidewalk do you actually have to be. You do get a little bit more flexibility there, for sure.
Awesome.
The other thing you can actually do is with the corner lot is if it's enough space to do the ADU, is you can actually have the addresses separated by road and road rather than having them as like Mount Acadia 1 or and then -1/2 or 2. So it just makes it easier to do that as well. And then that's pretty much that. But one other question I actually had for, I believe it was Naomi, who does the ADU, not the ADU, the Airbnb specialty. I know there's some areas such as Oceanside or up in Carlsbad where it's a little harder. There's more restrictions on Airbnb, but what do you see for Claremont, getting Airbnb permits and the availability of becoming an Airbnb host?
You know, as a matter of fact, I do a deep dive into the area for my clients. So if you'd like, I can connect with you. And as a matter of fact, there is other people that have Airbnbs. Every city and inside of the county has different rules. The city of San Diego has tightened up on those rules, and there are a tier system. There's actually 4 tiers. And so it just depends what the client is going to do. If they're going to live in it and rent out one of it, or are they going to just put the entire home onto the short-term rental platform. And so that kind of will determine what tier you're going to fall in. But that's only for the city of San Diego, Martin. In reality, if you go beyond the city of San Diego, you'll see that those rules are a lot more loose, depending on if you're going east or south or up north, like you said. And if you have an HOA, obviously in this case, in your home, that's the advantage. It's an actual property with no HOA. So that's why it lends itself to make that analysis to see if the numbers make sense for us to do that.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And then any last thoughts? Anyone, John?
Yeah, to Naomi's point, I mean, Airbnbs are allowed throughout San Diego County, and it's a really great way for people to earn extra income or just live for free or do whatever they want to do as an investment property. But you do have to be careful once you get outside of San Diego County. Some counties are more strict on Airbnb, and some have more, a lot looser regulations on it. But you got to be really careful because some counties have just completely restricted it.
Yeah.
And Harry, I believe you wanted to add something to our conversation here. Just real quick, why don't you tell us about any loan options for this one?
Yeah, if the person wants to occupy the property, we can finance the property because it's all put together already with the roof and the floors and everything. We could go low as 3% down. We could do 5, 10, and 20% down owner occupied with amazing rates in the low 6s. We can do fix and flip programs too, like 10% down of the cost or 25% of the future value. But again, they've got to be experienced and have done a couple properties. And those rates are a little higher, 8 to 9% or so versus the 6 to 6.25%, 6.5% on the owner occupied. So maybe it's a first time person that goes, maybe I'm going to live here. Maybe I'm going to fix it up as I go based on my budget. So there's just different opportunities for somebody to get in here and finance the property.
Yeah, and just the last thing, all I want to say is, again, that line item that you guys saw there where it was buy as is, owner rehab, investor rehab with those kind of quoted numbers, again, that's my specialty there to make sure that number is actually going to work for what you want to do with it. Again, those homes in Claremont, I look at this one as a pretty safe bet, but it's very important that you are realistic, as everyone keeps saying, that you're realistic with the work you want to do, that it's actually going to be affordable for, again, our market environment from the construction side. So just wanted to throw that in there.
And then final thoughts for me, I would say, is really pinpoint your ARV with your construction worker or whoever your agent, because I'm going to give you ARV, I'm going to give you numbers, but whether it's me or another wholesaler, make sure you really do your own research. Have your contractor walk it. Like, all these deals are as is, but always make sure you can have access to the property. And then just make sure it works for you as a deal. Don't be hopeful. Don't overestimate on what you think. Always be conservative with your rehab, with your ARV. Make sure the deal works. Account for extra months, especially right now, of private money holding if you're doing that route. So just overall, just make sure you're doing everything safely and conservatively. Chris, you're muted.
Muted. Here we go. You guys, thank you so much for your feedback. That was some great insight on this deal. And again, for our viewers, please reach out to these professionals for the loans, for the contractors, for just making this deal happen. If you want to write up an offer on this deal, you can reach out to these professionals here at the show or reach out to them afterwards. But these are the people that you need to reach out to so that you can get a great deal in real estate. But, now I'm super excited to move on to the next segment of our show. And Tracy will be talking about our events, our LEARNin Local Events.
Oh, this is so exciting. I love seeing the deals come together here on the show. And I love sharing the local events here in San Diego. And before I do that, I want to thank our sponsor, Framework Accounting.
Feeling overwhelmed with taxes and endless numbers? At Framework Accounting, we take the stress off your plate and bring clarity to your finances. From strategic tax planning that works to GAAP-compliant financial reporting, we've got you covered. Our streamlined bookkeeping and smart budgeting solutions give you the confidence to focus on what you do best, growing your business.
I'm a seasoned accountant, and I am a founder of my own company, Framework Accounting, and I'm helping individuals, families, and business owners make smart financial decisions, and especially when it comes to real estate. And I hope that I can help you guys break down affordability, tax implications, and anything about the market that's financial related.
Framework Accounting. Simplifying the numbers, empowering your success.
And once again, thank you, Ellen Rodriguez-Swing, the founder of Framework Accounting. So, hey, we're going to kick it off here with our first event, Save the Date. It's an incredible golf tournament. It is called Swingin' with Cell State. It is a golf charity fundraiser, and it is October 10th of this year. And if you are interested in playing or sponsoring, please feel free to follow up and contact them. The number is here, 619-956-6050. And the next, there is an incredible first-time home buyer programs. What they don't want you to know about. And that is Saturday, October 11th. Doors open 11:30 a.m. and that is at 2802 B Street, San Diego. And here's another super exciting event. This is happening at the University Club, downtown San Diego. San Diego Region Quarterly Update. It is a business opportunities luncheon. You're going to hear from speakers from South County Business Opportunities, the EDC, the Economic Development Council, San Diego Community College District, learning about construction opportunities, which we all know leads to real estate opportunities. That is coming up upon us Tuesday, October 14th. So be sure to get RSVP'd. I believe the majority of these are on Eventbrite, and we will be posting them after the show here in this thread. And another super exciting one, the Winning Playbook, a free buyer workshop. This is on Wednesday, October 15th, 5:30 to 7 p.m. So you can zip there after work, and space is limited. So be sure to RSVP. And the most exciting one, the LEARNin Local October Mixer. That is, once again, everybody here on the podcast today that's been on the podcast, people that are interested, connect, collaborate, create. That is going to be, mark your calendar, save the date, Tuesday, October 28th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the beautiful Park Hyatt Aviara Golf Club and Spa Resort in Carlsbad. So we are looking forward to seeing you there and connecting and collaborating and putting deals together. I mean, that's the reality here. We're all going to be there. We're going to be talking shop, and we're going to be putting deals together. So how can that be more fun? Right, Chris?
Yes, absolutely. I want to definitely go to some of these events. It's just so great because a lot of these viewers who are watching this show don't know where to start, don't know where to go. And we have it all here so that you can connect with these professionals and get all your questions answered. And we will be at some of these events as well. So hopefully we can meet up. Don't forget that LEARNin Local live event at the end of the month where you can meet all of us live and understand exactly how to be a part of this community. So we're excited for all of these events. Thank you so much, Tracy. You are so amazing when it comes to all the events and everything like that. So thank you so much. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go into our LEARNin Local Spotlight. All right, so we are going to do something very special here today. We're going to spotlight Mr. and Mr. Carlsbad. And we want to know, a little bit more about their company. And the first question that I'd like to start out with is, what makes your brokerage truly stand out in the San Diego market?
Yeah, thanks so much, Chris. What makes us stand out is we always go above and beyond the call of duty for all of our clients. We always make sure that we provide white glove service every single time. And we're always in constant open communication with all of our clients every single day. And we always make sure that we take care of our clients' needs and wants first before anything else.
Fantastic. And Eris, for you, what would you say is your ideal client, and what's your strategy for reaching and connecting with them?
Yeah, that's a great question, Chris. I think for us, our ideal client is someone, who is passionate about living here in North County, or holding property here in North County, just learning about our real estate market, and wants to be a part of the community. So we have several different strategies for reaching out to folks, and again, anytime you guys can catch us in the village at our office. So doors always open for folks to come walking by.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And another question for you is, we know that visibility is everything, right? How do you and your team build your brand online and in the local community?
Yeah, we get involved with the local community. We go out to the Boys and Girls Club events, annually, and then we get part of. I'm a member with the University Club, and I try to go to as many mixers as I can. I come on to this weekly to get involved with the community, and then we have our own website, which is mrcarlsbadrealestate.com, where everyone can go, and we always try to build our Google My Business profile with those 5-star reviews. And we're just try to be as active on social media as possible and go network and meet people.
Yep.
And being a part of LEARNin Local Live, guys. This community that we're building all here is it's what it's all about. It's about building synergy. We're all outstanding professionals here. So to be able to work and share information and learn from you guys as well is a great benefit for us.
Fantastic. And also the last question here is, what tools, training, or support do you provide to help your agents succeed? I mean, is it just the two of you, or do you have also other agents that are going to be working for you in the future? What's the plan for Mr. Carlsbad?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we are growing. We do have an organization of agents that we train. And like I said, I mean, we've been doing this for many years at this point. So one of the great things about us being with EXP is it's the largest independent brokerage in the world, and the resources that we have at our fingertips to train, help our clients succeed, help our agents succeed. It's really second to none. And it really is some of the best stuff that you can get in the industry. So we have, the technology, and we certainly, things change so fast in our industry nowadays. So we are happy to be in a place where we can take advantage of all of the tools that we have.
Great stuff. So one last question that I have for the both of you here is, where do you see the San Diego real estate market heading, and how is your brokerage evolving to stay ahead of the curve?
Yeah. EXP is always a step ahead of the game. EXP is always coming out with different services and different programs to help sellers and buyers alike and investors move along and move the needle forward. And then I personally see the San Diego market, even though we're in a bit of a buyer's market right now, I think it's going to transition into more of a balanced or a seller's market in Q1 or Q2 of next year, probably. So there's going to be a bit of an uptick in, the market movement, I believe, and we will be more than prepared for it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Mr. Carlsbad, John, and Eris, for your insights and all of the feedback that you have. And again, we're here to connect, collaborate, and create all of this information in real time for all of our viewers. So stay connected and get onto the school app. That is where we communicate about LEARNin Local Live. You'll learn everything that you want to know about LEARNin Local Live. Be a part of school, but in order the show, it's very difficult to choose because there are so many of you with so much knowledge and so much feedback. But Carver, last take. What's the information that stood out about the show that you would like to tell our viewers today?
I think just being as up to date as possible, right? I think right now, when we're looking at the information that is coming out, I think you had mentioned at the very beginning of the show that sometimes the news, I'm not a big fan of fake news because I don't know, that's just an ambiguous word we all just hear all the time now. But it's real news, right? We need real news, and we need subject matter experts talking about that as often as possible. So what I like about us having a weekly meeting with a variety of experts is you're getting so much knowledge all in one place, and I think that's hyper valuable. So all of us being able to talk about, okay, what's the best thing to do right now as a buyer, as a seller on a specific property. I think that as a whole is a great takeaway for anyone.
Thank you so much, Carver. Harry, what is your last take on the show?
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I think, just plugging in with all these experts, spending, a few minutes, a week in it and getting the information, especially from a local standpoint, because you could read something in the paper that it from, like Ari said, from the neighborhood in Carlsbad to Orange County to national. I mean, you're getting a local take on example by the property in Claremont today, how San Diego operates. It's a different and unique market, and you're getting local experts in all the areas right here.
Thank you so much, Harry, for your insights. Corey,
Yes.
what is the last word that you have for our viewers today?
Whether you're purchasing or you're selling, it's important to get educated. Education is key, and speak to your local experts, like in platforms like these where we're able to answer your questions instead of, paying attention to the news, because that's not always accurate. Always keep yourself informed.
Fantastic. And last but certainly not least, Naomi, please.
Right. Thank you, Chris. I think it's a collective wisdom. I think each of us brings knowledge and decades of just experience in San Diego real estate. So I think that being on here and plugging in every week is important so that people can get the information from the people who are boots on the ground, right? So we're actually people in these transactions, as opposed to sometimes you'll read articles and those are just journalists, but we are the people that are actually in the transactions daily, and we're seeing these trends. So it has been an honor to be here, and I look forward to connecting with you guys again.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you all so much for joining our show. And again, these subject matter.
Oh no, Chris.
To be able to guide you to make the right decisions in real estate. So thank you all so much for watching our show, and we'll see you at the next LEARNin Local Live. Woohoo!